Hello everybody, Gaming Bristolian here. Just a short video today. I'm going to have a look at my handheld collection. I'm going to go through each system and just tell you a little bit about each one. Anyways, so first up we got the original Game Boy, or the DMG as it's sometimes called. This was released in '89 in Japan and America, released '90 in UK and Europe. What to say about this? Iconic, to be honest. I think when a lot of people think of handhelds, they think of a Game Boy. Amazing system, had a long lifespan and made a huge amount of games. Yeah, fantastic little thing. Mine has gone slightly yellowish, as you might be able to see. It's not terrible, I've seen worse, but still works fine even after all these years. So next up we got the Game Boy Pocket. This was from 97, this is it? Was it 90? Oh no, 96 according to the back, yeah. This was basically a redesign of the original Game Boy. Smaller, I'll show you in comparison to the original. Only took 2 batteries. I think the screen seems slightly better on this model as well. Yeah, really nice. I think there's also a lights version as well in Japan, which looked exactly the same, but it had a built-in backlight. So yeah, cracking. So next up, we got the Game Boy Color from 1998. This is still an 8-bit system like a previous one, but see the difference here, it's in colour. I think it was a little bit more powerful because there were certain Game Boy Color games which weren't one of the original and some will. Yeah, still not backlit, unfortunately. I don't know why Nintendo didn't do that, but yeah, nice little system. Didn't have a huge lifespan because I think the GBA came out a couple of years after, so only had a span of about 3-4 years, something like that. But yeah, anyways. So next up, we got the Game Boy Advanced, or the GBA, as a lot of people like to call it. This is from 2001. A lot more powerful than the previous ones. Had a lot of Super Nintendo ports as well. I always kind of think of it like a portable SNES, because a lot of the same games came out. Yeah, nice little handheld. Still no backlight, unfortunately. Some of the later versions would correct this. See what I got on there. Oh, GT Championship, yeah. So, yeah, Game Boy Advance. So that was followed up by the Game Boy Advance SP. This is basically from 2003. Still plays GBA games, but it's a redesign, as it were. I much prefer the design of this with a sort of a clamshell. Always reminds me of these old Motorola phones from the early 2000s with a little flip on them. Yeah, you see there's a back there, pretty normal. What's that? Oh, Alpha 3, that's a good game. Yeah, so yeah, Game Boy Advance SP. So that was followed up in 2004 with the Nintendo DS. This model here, I think, is a slightly later one from, yeah, 2006, but the original model was 2004. Yeah, still backwards compatible as well. You got the Game Boy Advance slot there. Yeah, DS, hugely popular machine. I liked it. I probably actually preferred the GBA, if I'm brutally honest. But yeah, this was very popular at the time. Anyways, oh yeah, I'm missing a stylus of that, and the game in that is Tetris DS. Okay. So that was followed up in 2011, I believe, with the Nintendo 3DS. Again, backwards compatible with original DS. This was, I think, quite a lot more powerful, and a big gimmick here was it had the 3D slider, which, to be honest, is a nice novelty, but I never really used it a huge amount. Yeah, nice little handheld this. Last thing I was playing on this was, PES, there you go. We also had the 3DS XL. Basically, exactly the same thing, just with a bigger screen. I probably use this model more than I do the original one, just because bigger screen, really. Well, quite a few other versions of the 3DS. There's a 2DS, new 3DS, new 2DS, probably load more, I forgot. But yeah, nice little handheld. So I'll quickly mention this little thing as well. This is the Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers. This was released in 2020 to commemorate the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. It contains Mario Brothers Lost Levels, which is Japanese Mario 2, and a game called Juggler, which is an extremely basic game where you have to juggle balls. This is okay. I would have liked a few more games on it, if I'm brutally honest. I had a nice scream on it and had some nice little extras, but would it be nice to have maybe like Mario 3 or, even like the original Donkey Kong or something like that, or just a few old more Game & Watch games would have been cool. But yeah, it is what it is. We also have the Neo Geo Pocket Color from 1999. This was SNK, probably most famous for the Neo Geo AES. This was their sort of attempt to get in the handheld market to rival the Game Boy. Nice handheld. Nice little clicky stick on it as well. Never really took off, unfortunately. I think SNK had some sort of financial troubles at the time, so it didn't get a lot of support. But shame, really, because it's a nice handheld. Next, we got the Sony PSP, launched in 2004 in Japan and 2005 in Europe and the US and probably everywhere else. Yeah, really nice little handheld this. Sort of almost like a multimedia device at the time, because you could play music on it, watch films on it. You can sort of run a lot of emulators and things like that on there. Yeah, it was a nice little thing to sort of mess around with and mod. Yeah, really nice little handheld, the PSP. I believe this is the best-selling non-Nintendo handheld of all time. The only major criticism I would say of this is battery life isn't brilliant. It's the only thing I'd say against the PSP. But apart from that, and in here we have Sega Rally. Yeah, there you go, good game. Anyways, and finally we have the awesome PlayStation Vita, or the PS Vita. This was a handheld released in 2011 in Japan, 2012 in Europe and the US. Great little handheld this. Never that popular, unfortunately. I think Sony sort of ditched it quite early, which is a big shame. I know a lot of indie developers and things sort of jumped on it and sort of gave it a decent lifespan. But yeah, always really liked the Vita. I kind of feel it as a very hard time myself. But yeah, and in here we have Sonic. There you go. Anyways, so there you go. That is my handheld collection. I also say I did have a Sega Game Gear at one point, but unfortunately it broke. Hence why it's not on this video. Yeah. Anyways, I will probably at some point do separate videos about a lot of those. I have already done one about a Vita. I'm currently working on one on a 3DS. So, yeah, look out for that in the future. And thank you very much for watching. See you next time.